Hi, Math 2. As you may have guessed, there's more than just one trigonometry ratio. We looked at tangent a little bit yesterday, but there's also this ratio called the sine ratio and a ratio called my cosine ratio. And we talk about all of those when we go through math. So I have this triangle over here for reference, and I've labeled my angle theta in the corner. And we'll draw our little person next to it. Yay. Now, if I'm looking at this and trying to identify my sides, it's really easy for me to label the hypotenuse because that is always the side across from the 90-degree angle. What might be slightly trickier is to label my adjacent and my opposite. But I know that if I start from my angle theta and I look over to the opposite side of the triangle, then I will find my opposite leg. But you'll notice that I've labeled that with y. That's fine. It's just because I've drawn my triangle in a way where my y direction is up and down. But I'm going to say equals O to show that that's my opposite side. Or better yet, I'll just write O above the y. And then that leaves my remaining leg, which is the leg adjacent to or next to the angle that we've marked, which has been labeled X, or also A for adjacent. Now there's 3 different ratios that I can easily calculate here. And you'll learn about more next year in Math 3, but for now we want to stick to just sine, cosine, and tangent. My sine ratio is what I get when I take my opposite side and divide it by my hypotenuse. And for this problem here, that is saying I'm taking my y value divided by the hypotenuse. The cosine ratio is what I get when I take my adjacent side and I divide it by the hypotenuse. So there's my adjacent, my hypotenuse, and in this case, my adjacent side was labeled with an X, and my hypotenuse labeled with an H. Now there's also the tangent ratio, which we talked about yesterday a little bit. And we said that the tangent ratio was always my y divided by my x when I have my triangle oriented in the correct direction. And if we match that up to what we've seen here, that is my opposite over my adjacent. So I'm going to pause, make sure you have this written down, and replay anything you need to before going on to the next video.